Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest celebrity news. We actually have some today. Even Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Sort of good news for us. 90 Day Fiance, Jeff Lewis Live. Let us know how you're doing. If you are new, welcome. Get comfy in comments. Let us know where you're from, what you want to chat about, what your opinions are. Hey, Lucy and Deborah and Topper and Michael and Deborah and Sarah and Chan. How are you? Greetings from Orlando and Kentucky and North Carolina. And Jill's about to tell me where she's from. Oh, Sarah wants to know how much weight I've lost. So yes, today, March 13th, is exactly 2 months from when I started my weight loss medication. I did 1 month, 4 weeks. So the weeks are a little different. As you know, you take a shot every week. So my weeks are a little different than the months, but this is 2 months of being on the medication. I did Wegovy 0.25 for the first 4 weeks. Then I switched over to Mochi Health just for a lot of reasons. I like that they're medical doctors, that they're all weight loss specialists. I like that you can do it with insurance. You can do the brand name, or you can do the compounded semaglutide or tirzepatide. I am doing the compounded tirzepatide. I think this might be week 5, but whatever it is, it's 2 months. I started at my heaviest at 205 pounds. Yes, I've been this weight before. A couple years ago, gained a bunch of weight over the years that my mom was sick. And then I got plantar fasciitis again in both feet, was trying to heal that for about 6 weeks, gained a lot more weight. Anyways, looked up and voila, I was at my heaviest weight yet again. Heavier than being pregnant each of the 5 times. Like literally. Anyways, but this time, I just weighed this morning and I'm down 11 pounds. It's not the fastest weight loss that I envisioned, but then again, I do have to remind myself, I didn't exactly gain, all this weight in a month. So I'm not trying to lose it all in a month. And I do think the slower you lose the weight, it is healthier for you for a lot of reasons, but also the skin elasticity will bounce back a little bit more. I'm not going to have skin and, got to tone this up. Y'all know I do body pump and it is so hard for me to keep my arms like they were in my 20s and 30s and even 40s. I had great arms, but it is hard to do it. So anyways, oh, wait, Lisa is updating us on the carrot cake of it all from yesterday. She went to McAllister's today to get cake. Oh my gosh, I love it. But you know what? Don't let her fool you because she has been losing a lot of weight too and being very healthy. Thank you so much, Joetta. She says 11 pounds is awesome. Thank you. You know what? Who was it on here that reminded me a week or two ago? I may not be losing as much weight as I want to be so fast, but I'm also not gaining weight. And I'm like, exactly. Like that's what I've been doing for 11 months or so, is gaining weight steadily every month. So at least I'm not losing it. Southern Belle says, can you tell the difference from what you do now than the other Wegovy? What do you mean what I do now? I don't know what that means. Wegovy is brand name for semaglutide. I did have more side effects on that. I don't know if it's the difference between Wegovy and tirzepatide. It's really hard to attribute the side effects to that because I know one of them. I did have a racing heart a couple of times, and that's not a good side effect. So I did have that a few times, and I can absolutely attribute that to the Wegovy because I never have that ever. So, and it was like, wait, what the hell is this? And I thought, oh my God, I just ran up my stairs quickly. I was like, I'm not out of shape. Anyways, but I did have a couple of faint headaches. I did feel a little more tired in the afternoon on Wegovy. Again, it's really hard to narrow it down and say that that's what it was. But anyways, I don't know, but I'm listening. So I'm with Mochi Health, And there's a Facebook group for it, and there's a lady in there that's been very helpful. Jen Helen said, are they banning the compound tirzepatide? So something about March 19th is going around, and there is some truth to that, but Mochi Health is saying that everyone is not affected by this, and they personally will not be affected by this. I do not know, speaking out of turn here, I'm not a representative of anything about all this medical stuff. I'm just giving you my experience. I think it might have to do with the particular pharmacies that they're using, and Mochi Health uses only pharmacies that are FDA approved. So maybe these other ones that are not FDA approved are not being able to do I don't really know. I just don't, they're not saying that it is. So aren't we all too hard on ourselves? Mary Kate says, Sarah, slow and steady wins the race. You're being too hard on yourself. The first time I lost any weight, because I've done it a couple of times in the last decade, I lost it so quick. So when I was 37-ish, 38, I decided I was done having babies. The baby was about 1.5 years old. I joined the gym. In a few months, I lost like 40 pounds. I went from, my heaviest baby weight and everything after having 5 kids, and then lost a lot of weight. I was down to like a size 6 or 8, easily an 8. Sometimes I could fit into a 6 at my favorite store, White House Black Market at the time. And I've had that weight again a couple of times in 2021, and now again in 2024, the beginning of 2025. And it is much harder to lose the older I get, right? It's not just about the diet. I've always kind of worked out. I love working out. But somebody said you can't outrun your diet. And it is so true. As much as I would think some days that I was eating healthy, I don't micromanage, and I don't think I ever will. That will never work for me, to micromanage and add and how many calories and write and with serving and measuring. That's just not for me. I know in general, if I'm moving my body, if I'm eating less, that kind of thing, but I'm never really going to micromanage things. But anyways, it definitely gets harder the older I get. I'll be 52 years old in a couple of weeks, and I think I'm going through menopause. I don't know. Yesterday I had showered and I was getting ready to go somewhere, and all of a sudden I was sitting there like answering DMs, and I was in a bra and panties, and all of a sudden I was just sweating, and I'm like, what in the actual, like, we've got the air conditioner, what is going on? And all I can think is if it was a hot flash, or I have no idea. Anyway, I didn't love it. I do not like, I love the heat here versus the winters, but I do not like when I'm like getting ready to go somewhere and then I'm about to put my makeup on and I start beating up with sweat up here. And this isn't a menopause thing. This is just getting ready in South Texas, right? Air conditioner or not, but beating up here, and then, your little boobies start beating up with sweat. It's gross. Anywho, but other than that, I take the shot. I do think the next time I will ask about moving up in my dose, because I do not notice, for a few weeks now, I'm definitely eating less. I definitely get full faster. I definitely think about food less, but I've gotten on this sugar-free kick, and it is not calorie-free. So I've gotten on these Stover's candies that are like turtles, and they're individually wrapped, so it's super easy to pop in your purse. And then these thin mint ones, like mint chocolate, whatever. But each one is like 55 to 70 calories. So it's not exactly no calories. It might be sugar-free, but also whatever all these chemicals are in it, right? So, and then as you know, if you follow me on Instagram, I was on this sugar-free, which I had one today, a sugar-free pudding kick with sugar-free Cool Whip. So again, I definitely have the sweet tooth that I have not kicked. I don't know if I'll ever kick that. Don't know that I want to kick that. But I can tell you, when I've gone to restaurants over the past couple of months, and I've had moments where on my own, clearly, I've never used weight loss medication until now, where I have made good choices. I have been healthier. I never call it a diet. I never want to talk in those terms. For me, it's just about being healthy, and I have waves of health, right? Like where I focus on eating and working out more than others. But, I don't know if it felt like that. Heather says a hot flash is like having electrical wires under your skin and someone turns the heat on high. Well, I don't know if that's what it was. Because again, I'm in South Texas. We definitely, even with the air conditioning on, we have moments of getting hot, especially after a hot shower, right? It's just kind of warm and steamy in my bathroom. So I don't know that I can blame it on the hot flash. I don't know. It didn't hurt, if that makes sense. Well, JC, are you new here? Because nothing gives me diarrhea. JC says sugar-free stuff can give you severe diarrhea. Sorry, TMI. Yeah, it doesn't touch me. I'm on a $14 a day prescription medicine called Linzess that still doesn't do it for me because my doctor lowered my dosage because I told him that I was having diarrhea from it, and he lowered the dose. And now I'm like, no. For $14 a day after insurance and the prescription coupon, I would rather have diarrhea than nothing. Anyway, so gross, so gross. To potty or not to potty, but definitely it's not causing all of that. Oh, that makes sense. Southern Bell Cell says, I've asked a lot of ladies, and wait, where did that go? Hot flashes are different for everyone. And I lost my mom at 67, but I never thought to ask her about menopause. She never complained about anything. So I don't know. I don't know. Krista says, brings up such an interesting question about semaglutides and how they impact hormones. I don't think it impacts hormones, but that's actually a really good question. I don't know. I haven't heard or seen anything about it impacting hormones. So I really don't know. Wait, what? Get the lifesavers. It's worth a shot. About killed me. What do you mean lifesavers? Like lifesavers candy? I don't know what you mean. Yeah. Raquel says, I don't like diets. I just keep being active and moving to feel better. If I want ice cream, I will have it. I'm not going to deprive myself. That's my problem, though, is I will have ice cream, but I don't eat a half a cup, which is what the serving is, they claim. You know what I mean? My problem was always my servings. If you follow me on Instagram, I would always say portion control isn't my friend. And I really meant that. Like portion control was absolutely not my friend. Oh, I wish, Stony. I've got a Taco Bell near me. Taco Bell says a 6-pack. I could never eat now. I've got a big appetite, but I could not eat 6 tacos. Stony says, oh, Sarah, just do a good taco 6-pack at Taco Bell and you'll be right to the toilet peeing out your butt. I mean, I can only dream of that. You know what I mean? Debbie says, those hot flashes come over you. And I used to put the window in the car down in the dead of winter. I know it's so weird because you don't know when they're going to come. If you've been with me a while, you know that like 6-8 months ago, I swear I had like 2 hot flashes live on YouTube because I could see my face get real flush right here. And I felt hot all of a sudden. And it lasted maybe, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes. So I don't know why they would be so random though. Like I swear those 2 are the only I had until yesterday getting out of the shower. And I don't really know that was from the shower. You know what I mean? Anyways. Well, ask me anything. I did start a thread over on the Facebook group, Sarah from Texas Facebook group, to talk about the GLP-1 medications. A lot of chumpettes are on this medication, have been on it. They've been very open and honest with me and very helpful. So I very much appreciate that. And I just want to talk about it because I don't think it's anything to be embarrassed about. To me, it's no different than somebody needing help with cholesterol medication the rest of their life. Like everyone doesn't have high cholesterol. Everyone doesn't struggle with food or eating or food noise or overeating. So if we have medication to help with this, I don't know why we wouldn't use it. So I am all for helping and answering any questions. There is a link in all of my link trees for a $40 off coupon for you to use for your first month of trying it. And if you sign up for Mochi Health, when your friends and family start asking you, hey, how are you getting healthy? Or what are you doing? Because everyone asks, what are you doing? And if you choose to be honest and tell them that you're on the weight loss medication, you can also give them your referral link and you will also get $40. They will get $40 off and you will get $40 off your next month's medication. So I don't get $40 given to me. I get it put in this little bank that I can use towards my medication price. So, and it always rolls over. So, Lisa says, don't be a hater, but I went through menopause and it was quick and over with, short and sweet. I was so lucky. I never had all the awful things that I was dreading people were telling me about. I wonder if I'm going to be easy too, because my mom never complained about it. So I don't know. Yeah, I can't do a laxative I don't think it's good to do a laxative every day. The Linzess is not a laxative. It's a medication to keep just I'm severe. Trust me, I'm severe for sure. Cecile says, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism and menopause at the same time. Got a double whammy. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know. I know they check my thyroid. I don't know. I've never had a thyroid issue. You know what I mean? Anyways, okay, let's get started with celebrity news. Some 90 Day Fiance will come after that. And then, of course, we'll chat today's Jeff Lewis live. Okay. We've all heard about this the last day or two. Dawn from En Vogue, the super popular like 90s, hit girl gang, has admitted that she has been living in her car for the last 3 years. She doesn't talk about an addiction issue or any of that, but she does mention that like some family and maybe a manager or attorney, somebody might have misappropriated her funds. She says at one point she was living with her parents, but her mom, things weren't going well. The mom was kind of not being great with her. She ended up moving out from that, and she's been living in her car for 3 years. The good news is her ex-husband has come forward and says that he is offering her a career in the hospitality industry at a Hilton hotel, like full benefits, time off, everything, like make really good money, but also give her the opportunity to take time off to go and tour. Now, where I'm confused on that is about a year or two ago, New Kids on the Block. I know he was just on yesterday with Jeff Lewis Live for the first time, Joey McIntyre. When they had their mixtape tour, En Vogue was part of it. Rick Astley, not TLC, another girl group. Salt and Pepper. I feel like somebody else was there, and of course, New Kids on the Block. And I don't remember En Vogue. I don't remember Dawn not being there, but I was definitely there 1,000% for New Kids on the Block. The other people at mixtape were just kind of part of the show. But I don't know if she was touring and then going back to live in her car. Like, I don't know how you get in that situation. I don't know if she has kids. Clearly, it's a financial issue, she's letting us know, but that's just awful because you literally don't have a bathroom in your car. You don't have the convenience of a shower, brush your teeth in the car, cook any hot foods. I mean, I've watched enough TikTok people that live in their car and they make it work, but it is not ideal. And it's not something that you ever hope for your life if you had this hugely successful girl group, right? So I don't know. It was interesting that I thought, you know what? I just saw her within the last couple of years, and I kind of now wonder, was she part of that En Vogue tour? I do not know. Okay, Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively news. I try not to talk about this too much, but this did get me excited. So whatever news came out was basically the judge it was good news for Justin and good news for Blake, apparently. But the main thing I care about is the judge said that he is unlikely to seal the whole case once everything comes out. The only thing they're ever going to seal is maybe mental health things that are super, super, super private to people. But apparently Justin got a little bit of what he wants and Blake got a little bit of what she wants. This is all assuming they don't just settle. Now, this can't be good for either one of them. It's just like a pissing contest. But when it came out, don't forget, I mean, immediately people were anti-Justin Baldoni. They all believed Blake Lively. That was a huge accusation. Sexual harassment. That was huge. Well, immediately he was not fighting back. And he was like, what the hell? I've got these text messages, these voice recordings, I've got a history. He was putting it all out there. So I'm just excited that the judge said he probably won't seal the case. We should get all the facts once they ever come out. And I really hope it does come out. But I don't give a shit about it. I mean, neither one of them are my favorite actors. But she's looking worse, and Ryan is looking worse in all of this. And he just came after a huge couple of years. I mean, Ryan Reynolds has been huge for a long time, but he definitely have some big years. And I think the tides are turning and people are kind of maybe were, think they weren't as nice as people were letting on. You know what I mean? Wow. Jordy says 10 years from now, there'll be a whole slew of Gen Z former millionaire OnlyFans creators, very specific demographic, living in their cars with no job or no talent. I can say that once I got on TikTok about a year and a half ago, I never got on it because, my husband said, "Oh, it'll steal all your time. It's just, and I'm like, he's right. I mean, I ended up scrolling TikTok like crazy. But I do see people that were like huge and then all of a sudden they're not. Well, if that's your main or only income, then that's kind of a big deal, right? I mean, so I sort of understand that. There's people that, I watch and then all of a sudden they don't really come up on my feed, which means their videos aren't really. And sometimes it has nothing to do with you. I know that you can see your video views. You don't even have to do anything on TikTok or Instagram. It just shows your views there for you and everyone. So you can see sometimes that you might put out one video on TikTok as a creator, put out the same video on Instagram. It might make you a lot of money on TikTok and just die out on Instagram. But a lot of these famous influencers, whatever, a lot of them got really big on TikTok only during the pandemic, which I wasn't even on TikTok during the pandemic, especially not being as a creator and being able to make money on that with views and such. But it can definitely have its highs and lows. I mean, people can turn on you. You can say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing. I mean, it's a very particular industry. So if you don't start doing something else with or putting that money away, I can see what Jordy is talking about for sure. Heather about Justin and Blake says, Justin and Blake will settle and are wasting everyone's time and all of their money. Like, why are they spending their own money on this? Like, it's just like a pissing like they're really pissed off at each other. I'm like, do you know how many celebrities have probably worked together and hated the whole experience and just moved on and just said, I'm never going to work with them again if I'm in a position in my career to choose not to do that? I think so too. You know what? I worry about just normal people with a job though. There are so many people living paycheck to paycheck and are not able or willing to put money away for retirement or 401k, or, they're spending more and they've got credit card debt. I do wonder what it'll look like in 20, 30, 40 years from now with people's finances. Krista says many famous content creators will be collapsed unless they invested well. And I don't know that they are, because I think no one ever thinks the tide is going to turn. They always think they're going to be famous. You know what I mean? So, yes. And her book didn't, case in point, Heather says, look at what happened to poor Susan Powder. Literally. So, she was just on Jeff Lewis Live, wrote a book. Her book didn't exactly explain. I mean, it kind of went from lots of money to just kind of not, and like working DoorDash. But we have to know there must have been some interim in there. There must have been like, couldn't pay rent, got it down. I know she downsized at one point. She does talk about that. So very interesting. Krista says, sadly, so many people living on credit and leasing homes and cars. Yeah. And some of that is people, some of that is people living beyond their means or thinking they deserve the finer things in life on a not so finer salary or not so finer work ethic. And some of those have fallen on hard times through little to none of their own fault. It just depends. But I do think there's a huge, if you look at the numbers of people that don't have retirement money, and companies are not like they used to be. I mean, I don't have to tell y'all. My dad retired from Chevron Gulf, which was Gulf and then Chevron. Incredible, I can tell you. But he worked there 32 years. he did right with his money, but they also took care of their employees as far as stock and all of that goes in retirement. Not a lot of companies are willing and able to do that anymore. So more and more of us have to rely on our own self, which means they either can't or they're not doing it because they're thinking, oh, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old is so far away. But what they don't realize is a lot of people will blow through their money for medical reasons in the last 1 to 5 years of their life. So those years, whatever they end up being, you will blow through your money because it costs so much if you've got medical issues and you can't take care of yourself. The round the clock fees or these apartments that cost, $4,000 to $8,000 a month. And nobody has this long-term medical insurance like people used to offer. You know what I mean? So very interesting. But anyways, okay. Also, I listened to Andy Cohen live today. He did tell us, and he's kind of alluded to this, that he and Anderson Cooper are planning a 5-day Disneyworld trip with their kids. And Andy Cohen said, hey, I am prepared for this. He goes, not financially. He goes, I don't know how normal people do this. It is so expensive. He said, everything I think of, everything somebody tells me to do at Disney World, they're like, oh, but that's $500 to get, all of Lucy's hair and makeup done at Bibbidi Boppity Boutique. And they're like, oh, maybe Ben would like to get a wand made. They're like, oh, well, that's $100. I mean, it was just like everything was a fee. And he's like, look, I am in a position right now where I have the money for this, but this might be a one and done. He's like, Lucy's probably never going to remember this. Ben is 6 years old. He should remember it, but he's not going to remember all the details. Like, I really can't think of much when I was 6 years old. Like, I just really can't. Yes. Jordy says you can lose your entire life's fortune with one chronic illness in the final years of your life. Round the clock care is a fortune and it goes quick. And I will say, my dad had cancer first, then my brother had cancer, then my mom had cancer. Even with the best insurance and the best financial situation, being sick really takes a toll on you financially because it's a lot of out-of-pocket money, even with the best insurance. So definitely. Okay. Anyways, it was super, super good episode. Go ahead and listen to that. One thing that confused me, though, he kind of started to try to give an update on his apartment that's for sale. But then he's like, well, I can't tell you things that I can't tell you. So then he tells us about these stickers that Ben put all over some very expensive, detailed woodwork in his apartment. I think it's the way he was talking about it. It almost sounded like it was in Ben's bedroom. But he was like, look, I thought this was going to be my forever apartment. Like, I didn't mind that he was putting stickers in his bedroom on this expensive woodwork. I'm like, your apartment has been on the market for a long time. People are showing your apartment all the time. Why would you not get those stickers removed? He said people were complaining, and finally he and his nanny are trying to remove them. So they're like trying to etch off the stickers, and he and Ben are like doing it. I'm like, honey, you are way too busy to be taking off stickers off important, expensive woodwork in your apartment, your $14 million, now $12 million apartment. So then his nanny orders a steamer off of Amazon to do it. And even in my brain, I was like, oh, no. A steamer in wood. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, it ruined the wood. Of course it did. I'm like, why are you not calling in a professional for this? Why was this not done when you were getting your house ready to go on the market? Like, nobody wants to see Ben's stickers all over expensive woodwork in a multi-million-dollar, multi-level New York City apartment. Thank you, Christina. She's like, she's number 59 on hitting the thumbs up button. Sorry to be late. It is okay. But there's 161 people on here now. It would be awesome if you exited out, hit the thumbs up button, and then came right back in. I would really appreciate it. Jordy says, all my grandparents went through that and they just bled money so fast, thousands and thousands. Yeah. We had a family member that, was a very hardworking teacher his whole career. And at the end of his life, he needed 24/7 care because family could not help that much. They live hours from me, so I wasn't even in a position to be able to help with that. But yeah, and which is fine. I mean, this family member didn't need the inheritance, but to me, an inheritance is more about the pride of knowing that you left your children or your family members or friends, whoever you want to leave it to, charities, money, than it all being taken away by your health at the end of the year. But yeah, that's very much true. Very much true. Okay. So yeah, that just kind of, I'm like, Andy, get some professionals. Like, your nanny doesn't need to be. And he was very adamant. So another thing he's done that he didn't fix before, like a lot of us, I don't think I ever did this on a wall. I'm trying to think. Did we ever do this on a wall? We had things in the inside. We had these wood custom things made for each of our 5 kids that had pictures of them. And it was a height thing. So it was made to measure and write on that wood thing. Like, this kid at age 4, this kid at age 11, this kid at age whatever. Of course, you stop doing that when they're like 7, 8. But anyways, maybe with 2 kids, he did it longer. He was markering with a Sharpie on very expensive wallpaper on the wallpaper. So now he's got to replace that wallpaper part. And I'm like, why isn't all this done before he did? Like, I'm so confused. Why didn't he do this before? Southern Belle says, I was a 24-hour caregiver for my mom. It's beyond exhausting. It really is. It really is hard being a caregiver. We were lucky that, it was intentional. My mom built a house near us. I never moved out of the city, so it was intentional, but I was lucky that my mom lived less than 2 miles from me. And then at the very end, for a few months, we had hospice come in every once in a while to help bathe her for her dignity. I wanted a caretaker to help bathe her because I knew my mom didn't want to see her in that kind of vulnerable position. And she was so healthy. I mean, having cancer for 3.5 years, she was so strong and fought. I mean, the Thursday at lunch before she passed away on a Tuesday afternoon, we all went out to lunch together. So when my mom got really bad, it was literally in the last 48 hours of her life. So I always say I changed one diaper of my mom. That's the only time that she needed a diaper. And I changed one diaper, and then she passed away that afternoon. So, and I wouldn't have it any other way, me changing her diaper, because at that point she was very tired. Can't believe I got through all that without crying. Anyways, okay, let's not talk about, the end of someone's life, but it is a lot of money and all that being a caregiver. Okay. John Hill sits down to pee. He's proud of it. Doesn't make any bones about it. And I'm like, just admit it. Like, what does it matter if men sit down or stand up to pee? Like, I think if I were a man, I would want to not have piss splashing up all over everything. So if you sit down, it's at least splashing a little bit on you, but in a controlled area, and it's not splashing everywhere else. So I am A-okay with John admitting that. Okay, let's chat 90 Day Fiance, season 11, episode 4. I finally watched from Sunday night. Remember, these are 2 hours long. It's a lot. They introduce us to, they update us on the other couples that they've already introduced us to. I'm forgetting all their names already, but I'm just going to say where they're from. The woman from Paris with the little baby, the one that left her 9-year-old back in France because she doesn't have his passport yet. I think, what is that husband's name? I don't know. They're not married yet. All of these people had 90 days to get married. Things are going a little bit better for them. But she's got potential. That girl is going to be a wild card. Like, if she doesn't get her way, she is not going to be happy, and she's going to be up and leave him without that baby. And I don't doubt she would go back to France. So that relationship makes me kind of nervous. I do love, I think his name is Greg, the one that his fiance is from, I want to say Uganda, but I might have that wrong. Anyway, she finally gets over the mom who they live with and pays all the bills. Like Greg doesn't have any money for rent, turned down a really good job with the state of New York City that would have benefits and pay and a steady income and all this that I don't think he's ever had his whole freaking life. He finally tells his fiance, "Oh, I turned that job down because I knew you were coming and I wanted to spend time with you." Girl, this is a girl that has her shit together. She was running a nonprofit company. I think she's got her master's degree. She is like coming from a very educated, very got her shit together. And now her fiance has to tell her, "Oh, I turned down that really good job because I want to spend time with you." No, go to freaking work and spend time. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. I love that you know that your son sits when he pees. Heather says, "My son is 6'5" and I beg him to sit down to pee when he visits." Oh, you don't know that he does, but you beg him to. Yeah, that's a long way. I never really thought about that. My dad was 6'5". I never thought about, let's just say my dad definitely stood and peed because I would hear him when he woke up. We had a small 3-bedroom house. I mean, sometimes he would leave the door open in the primary bathroom. Anyways, okay, but I never thought about that. I'm pretty sure my dad never sat to pee unless he was going number 2. Interesting. Okay, but this one couple that they introduced us to last night, they kind of ruined it already, right? The guy, I'm forgetting all the names. I want to say his name is Steve or Steven. He's 62. He's a former hairdresser, has a really nice house in West Hollywood or the hills of Hollywood somewhere. He was married for like 10, 15, 20 years, have 3 children together. They got a divorce. Then he realized that he's gay, or I think that he's gay, met a man. I think they dated for quite a while from Brazil. And then one day they just did a little dress up for an activity for a carnival or something. And then he, who I think, what was his name? Oh gosh, I'm forgetting. Not David. Whatever that name was. He decided that he wants to be, I think it's Aaliyah. Again, I don't have all the names written down. I can't remember them all yet. But they already kind of ruined it, right? They show that Aaliyah doesn't show up for the wedding. And then I'm watching this going, wait a minute, who are these people? They haven't even shown these people. We don't know anything about them. And then I was kind of like, I was looking at Aaliyah like, is that a male or a female? Because we didn't know anything about. We didn't know that she had transitioned from a male to female towards the middle of her life because she's a lot younger than the 62-year-old. But they kind of ruined that for us. Douglas, thank you so much, Cecile. But I don't know. It ends with Aaliyah is going to go to her interview for the spousal passport, the K-1 visa. All of her paperwork and everything is in her legal name of Douglas. So at one point she contemplates, should I just show up as a male, show up as Douglas, just get this paperwork approved? Because if I show up to this Brazilian office that might be a lot more traditional than America, and they deny my K-1 visa, but then we know that doesn't happen because they try to get married and they refuse. I'm just like, why did y'all? I've never seen 90 Day Fiance ruin it like that before. Like, I don't know why they did that. It was so, I wish they would have just shown them meeting and their story and all that. And then that could have been a good finale that she almost doesn't show up for the wedding, right? And then he gets pissed off. Crazy. Keep safe, Southern Bells. What's going on? Krista and Southern Bells cells needs prayers, but I can't figure out why. Be safe. Maybe the bad weather? Severe. Oh no, my severe weather radio is blasting out announcements. Oh yeah, definitely be safe. Oh, weather. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I don't know. I like these couples. I like I like them all. I like Maddie. I like his girlfriend Stevie. Um, I like the one that was the younger guy that was the worked on the cruise ship. I don't like Greg's mom, the one that's being cheap and making his fiance feel guilty for taking 2 showers a day. I mean, also, some of these people are coming from very different cultures. So 2 of them come from cultures. Maddie is one where they don't ever have cats inside a house. So Stevie's got a cat and he's like I've never touched a cat. I heard if we touch a cat, we get real sick. So he's got to get over all of that for sure. Sean, thank you, not Steven. It's Sean. Sean is and Douglas Aaliyah were on another. They were? How did I miss a 90-day fiance? That's so weird. I've never missed a 90-day fiance. It must have been one of the 4 billion spinoffs that I haven't seen, but I thought I'd seen 3.5 billion of them. Elizabeth says Sean and Douglas / Aaliyah were on another season that covered a lot of their background. Gosh dang it. I thought they were brand new to me. Well, they were brand new to me. Anyways, but the one that's like, I think it's Uganda that she's from. She's like, look, I wake up in the morning and I take a shower to be fresh. Sometimes I need a shower midday, and I definitely need a shower in the evening. She's like, in New York, these are all people that have like air conditioning in the cars. They've got air conditioning in the offices. Like, it's hot in Uganda. And she's like, I need to take a shower. And then Greg's mom's being all cheap, like, well, does she take a hot shower? Does she take a shower for 10 minutes or longer? I'm like, ew. Like, this is where we're going to go with this? Like, that bitch is going to get on my last nerve. Like, her son needs to pony up some money. He needs to call the New York City state job and take that job. You know what I mean? Oh, they were on a whole season. I can't remember which one Elizabeth says. Oh, Love in Paradise. Okay. I can't watch them all. I thought I watched Love in Paradise though. Which one was Love in Paradise? Isn't that the one that... No, it wasn't Love in Paradise back then. Love in Paradise is kind of new, isn't it, Deborah? I mean, if anything, TLC has definitely got it on. Wait, what? Krista says, if you guys love Jeff Lewis, Justin Martindale's podcast on YouTube is hilarious. Now they're on the outs right now, so I don't really know how to take that. What does that mean? Wait, there's big storms coming to Texas? You're right. I'm definitely not informed. And my daughter and her friend and boyfriends and all that are going to the rodeo again tonight, which is indoors, but still. Mary Kate says, big storms are coming across the country. Also Texas. Not sure Sarah is informed. I'm never informed. Okay, let's chat. Today's Jeff Lewis Live. Jason Ritter, John Ritter's son, who they didn't really explain this at all. Now, if y'all know Three's Company, if y'all are of a certain age, then you might want a fern like I do. And I only want a fern because of Janet owning the plant shop, and they always had ferns. It always seemed like she had ferns in their apartment. I loved it. Chrissy, what was his name? So remember, it was like made in like the 70s, that show Three's Company, and it was the guy had to act like he was a gay man because clearly he couldn't have 2 female roommates, but he couldn't, none of them could afford to have a room, they all... Jack Tripper. Yes. Oh my God. I was hoping, was anyone else hoping that Jason sounded like John Ritter? Anyways, he passed away apparently on a set. I remember when this happened, but I looked it up and it was September 11th, 2003. So 2 years after September 11th. But Jason Ritter was only 23 years old, and he was the oldest of 4 kids. So I can't even imagine. I don't know what John Ritter's wife did after that. I do remember some interviews, maybe a People magazine cover, something like that. But as far as what she did, and if she had her own income or career, or what their other kids' ages were, if John Ritter had enough money set aside already, you never know. I mean, nobody ever plans. Oh, it was okay. Southern Belle sells this. Oh wait, hold on. Kimberly J. John Ritter passed from an aortic aneurysm. Same thing my mama passed from. Wow. I do remember he was on set and it was something medical very fast. And so it was aortic aneurysm. Wow. I mean, it's not good to go so incredibly young, but there's a lot to be said to not suffer and, pass away quickly. But then you don't get to say goodbye to people too when you're sick. Mariah J says, I'm younger, but I remembered he was the dad on 8 Simple Rules of Dating my teenage daughter. I don't even remember that. Is that a TV show? I mean, I just loved him so much from Three's Company. Yeah, Maria says, I really enjoyed Joey McIntyre and Jason Ritter today. So 2 really new people. And I think they want to come back. I think Jason Ritter lives in the area. Joey McIntyre clearly lives in the area. He lives in Hancock Park. So, wait, what? Lisa says Jason Ritter's TikTok is everything and more. He dances to the new Matlock theme song. Oh my gosh, thanks for letting me know, or all of us know. I wish he'd have promoted his TikTok. I thought he was very good. I didn't even write many notes. I mean, I literally wrote down easy conversation. That's part of what I wrote was it just flowed so well with him and Sarah Colonna and Jeff and Shane. He did say that he's been sober now for 11 years. So I don't really know what that journey was, but he definitely talks about alcohol and that some people can just have like a glass or 2 of wine and be like, okay, that was fun and I'm done. He's like, that wasn't me. So he clearly had a problem and he's been sober for 11 years. He also was done with another relationship of 11 years when he met his now, is it wife? Yeah, they did have to get married. So they had a baby after they were engaged and then they got married. Yeah, Deborah says, I'm not a TikTok person, but I will look him up. Yeah, Jason Ritter on TikTok. That's true. I wonder who it is. And I'm kind of surprised Jeff hasn't talked about him. Heather says the new booker on Jeff Lewis Live is working if these are the results. He's definitely getting more like celebrities, people that need to promote their TV shows and such, which is good. It's just a lot for me to get used to because I'm not used to him having people on that need to promote something. I guess I'm always used to it being fringe. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess to promote Matlock, which is his new show. Season 1, 18 episodes on CBS Thursdays. So it makes sense, right? He's on Thursday. I mean, you have to think when people have like people on to promote stuff, it's always like, watch what happens live. Oh, it's the night after a show aired or the night of a show. Oh, Beverly Hills was on tonight. Oh, let's have a, Dorit on. It's Thursday. Oh, that's the night Matlock is on. So it makes people think, oh, tonight is Thursday. So Jet says, why did Jeff have him on? What's he promoting? Definitely his Matlock, right? I thought he was really good. They could have explained a little more about who his dad was. I mean, maybe not everyone realizes who John Ritter was. Even if you remember Three's Company and Jack Tripper, you may not remember his name being John Ritter. I mean, that's 23 years ago that he passed away. That's a long time. Yes. Oh, Meg says John Rivers' wife is an actress also. Okay. Well, so is Jason Ritter's, or did you mean Jason Ritter? I don't know. Yeah, he was in a lot of movies. I like the little, whatever that game was, they played Name That Clip. And I love that he gave credit to the writer and director every single time. Like he didn't be like, oh, I was the star and I was this character. He was like, no. Yes. Jason Ritter was in Parenthood. It was so, so good. Yeah. And see, I'm not a huge, unless it was like Friends, all the Thursday night NBC shows, the Sunday night growing up, I definitely loved all the old sitcoms, but they're just not nearly as good. You know what I mean? I don't know. K Kitty. Why is Sarah Colonna on again? She's so boring, K Kitty says. And she was on for both albums. I'm reading a text or reading a comment. She was on for hour 1 and hour 2 today. I'm like, it's almost like he wants to give her a lot of money and then Zach Noe Towers. You know what I mean? It's like they're on every single week. I don't know. And I love everyone. I've always said I need 2 or 3 weeks between people. But now that you got 2 hours to fill, it's hard to get that many. Nut Fam says, can the booker book Gaga on to promote her new album? She's adorable. Don't know that he usually has musicians on. It does seem like he tends to have albums or TV people on. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's not a reboot, Michael Riley. Matlock? I mean, he called it a reboot because they talked about, like, they incorporated old stuff in it and new stuff. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Anyways, I thought it was a really good conversation. Jeff did let us know that he's been sober now for 5 days because he's got his headshots tomorrow, and he's already planning the meal he wants to eat afterwards, which is going to be that pizza place that he's addicted to, Prime Pizza. And he's going to have a real beer or 2 or 3 at the movie date at Zach Noe Towers. And his man comes in town probably today, because it seems like when Ty comes in town, it's like Thursday through Monday. You know what I mean? Yes. Oh, she's in that show. Kathy Bates is in Matlock, y'all are saying. Okay, now I get why y'all are talking about Kathy Bates. Okay, the second hour was Ryan Bailey and Sarah Colonna. Jeff just announced that Ryan Bailey is the one that they offered the position to moderate the Jeff Lewis Live show at ChumpCon, and so he's very excited for that. But I do wonder if Doug is a little upset, or if Jeff was just, again, pitting the chumps against each other, which I don't know that he should do. Especially when Ryan was like, I don't know. I think Doug and I are like really friends. Like, we're honest friends. Like, I think he's really happy for me when he called and congratulated me on getting the job. But Jeff kept saying that Doug, listen, am I the only one that thought when Jeff said that who was really trying to get the job? I thought for sure it was Joey Zalzig. I thought for sure Joey wanted to moderate. And I'm like, he's already hosting his own freaking pool party. Like, not every chump that is getting paid $10,000 and to go to almost all or all of the events is getting to host something. Like, that's a really big deal. The people that are getting to host something is clearly Jeff Lewis, the welcome event, all that. Then there is the Saturday pool party. There's this Saturday night is now Shane Douglas and Monica Casey, because Monica's been added as the chump karaoke thing host, and then Doug Buden is hosting the brunch on Sunday. So, but I definitely thought it was going to be Joey Zalzig for sure, but it was Doug, and I don't even know if that's true. I don't know. I'm excited for Ryan. I really think he's such a nice guy. I think the stories. Then did y'all hear the new promo? I did put most of it up in the Sarah from Texas Facebook group. Spa boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Of course, it was Jameson. I could totally picture Jameson singing that. I mean, he had such a deep voice. He was trying to sound like, the Cops promo music. It was so good. I don't think so either. Deja Monet says Joey would not be a good moderator. I mean, I've been at a live event, or maybe 2, where Joey was one of the ones in the audience asking questions or playing a game or answering. And it was either him or Monica. I can't remember which. One of them was being very easy if the audience member was getting the question a little bit wrong. And Jeff was adamant, like, don't give them the gift don't give them the prize if they didn't get the answer right. I think it was Monica, because Jeff was getting a little perturbed. Jeff is very into games and very into winning or not, and he was not. Oh, y'all want merch that says, wait, what? Oh, that's not a bad idea, Jeannie Marie giving us a new merch idea. Wait, what? I love it when Sarah says that. I will let her know. I will let Stacy know. Put IDK on merch. I don't know. Just IDK. I don't know. You know what? Like I told you, my daughter had some sorority sisters here with her visiting, and a couple of them left this afternoon. But one of them says TBH all the time, and I'm like, oh my God, if I hear her say TBH, to be honest, but she wouldn't say to be honest. She'd be like TBH, and I'm like, oh my God, it just sounded so like And she's from Texas. It just North Texas. It just sounded very I guess it's just what the kids say nowadays. It was funny. Okay. Topper says Matlock takes place in a law firm, and Kathy Bates tells people her name is Matlock. Those are the only similarities. He called it a reboot, didn't he? I mean, I don't know. Lisa says, I saw Joey Zalzig on a Summer House TikTok with West and the goofy guy. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I think a lot of, with Jesse, I think a lot of reality TV stars go to the same hosted events that influencers are invited to and go to. So it makes sense that he would know. It probably behooves them all to know each other and make content together, because then they're all the audiences are seeing things. You know what I mean? Anyways, okay, Jeff did give us an update on Sherry O'Terry because a caller called in and asked also about Tori Spelling. So the caller called in and said, hey, what's ever happened to Sherry O'Terry, which he gets asked about a lot. Also the live events, he gets asked about Sherry O'Terry. And he said over and over again, I want her on. I tell her the fans love her. She only wants to come on my show if she has something to promote. And I've told her, look, you don't have to promote anything. We just want you on. He says he did see her recently, but I don't know if they're trying to get her on the show or not. He said, Tori Spelling, they've reached out, and all she says is, oh, yeah, I want you to do my podcast. She just wants to use the Jeff Lewis, which I get. If he used Tori Spelling for content all those years, even though he pays his co-host, he could be nice enough and do her podcast. You know what I mean? Because clearly she's a fan favorite, right? We like having Tori Spelling on Jeff Lewis Live. So I don't know. Yeah, Meg says that John Ritter was married to an actress. Yeah. Yeah, allegedly, maybe. I think so too. I don't think she's wrong in finally saying, hey, now I've got a project that you could help me on. She says, yeah, but he's used them, so he deserves to do hers. Yeah, for sure. I agree. Anyways, well, we are going to wrap things up, but we do have a few more minutes. If anyone wants to come on, you can hit the StreamYard.com link that is always in the banner. That is unique to each episode. So you do have to use that one, or it's the very first comment every day. Ooh, I love that. Michael Riley, I retired early and I will never work again. Never. Kimberly J, wrap things up. No. Well, if you want more of me, every Sunday evening at 7 Eastern, we do an Ask Me Anything on Instagram Live. If you're a royal chumpette, it's $4.99 a month. And you get to see all the previous Ask Me Anythings. I think we've been doing it, I don't know, 7 or 8 weeks again now. Not sure. I do not. Krista says, does the doctor have you on a hair loss supplement with the shot? No. I'm trying to eat a lot of protein and hope that helps prevent me. I know, Krista, you're not the only one. I don't know why they don't allow it. Krista says, I can't get Instagram Live. Please move to YouTube. I don't mind doing the lives on YouTube and Instagram like I used to do. What's hard is the extra content that I try to do for y'all, which, isn't a lot. It's mostly for the Ask Me Anythings. So I feel like it's too hard to like post that. And I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, I do too. I remember when Three's Company aired all the time on what we call Channel 26 here in Houston, our Fox affiliate. Because remember when Fox started, it was just a bunch of replayed shows. Like they didn't get original content till years later, but they showed all the good old stuff, all the good 70s and 80s shows that I love. Oh my gosh. Lisa, you're giving away the winners. Although if you haven't heard the winners of the traders by now, you've been living in a hole. I don't know the other guy's name either. I can't say his name. I don't know how to say it. I didn't quite watch the Waltons. I mean, I know of the show, but like Alice, the other Sunday night shows I loved, the Jeffersons, One Day at a Time, Ivar, is that his name? Ivar. Anyways. What's a super producer? Krista says, my husband retired early and he is a super producer. Loved his work. He truly enjoyed working. You were smart. I know a lot of people that keep working because it keeps their brain, they loved it. Yes, Mr. Furley. Well, what was his real name? He was on the old show too. I loved him on that too. What was his real name? Southern Belle says, I love Mr. Furley on Three's Company. Oh my God. Roseanne was a good show too. Pluto that airs all those shows. I don't even have Pluto. I can't with one more. I think I'm going to have to do the treadmill tonight at the gym because my body pump instructor had to cancel. Dawn Knotts, thank you. So good. And so I think I'm going to do the treadmill inside at the gym. That way I can watch another episode of Flipping Out. I'm just loving it. It's on free on, what did I say it was? Netflix. And y'all are telling me it's on lots of places. So just search Flipping Out. It's on. I mean, if you haven't watched it in a long time, it was so good. Oh yeah, what was her name? Oh my gosh. Southern Belle says, what was the lady in the caftan on Three's Company? The lady that, and then she hated her husband. Oh my gosh, so good. All of those. Anyways, Mrs. Roper. Thank you, Mrs. Roper. You're addicted to Taco Bell. Go through. Michael Riley, the way this guy has everything delivered to his house. I have to order my Taco Bell delivery at 5:30. I'm addicted now. Go pick it up, then it's fresher. I see on the TV they put stickers on the whatevers. I don't know. Oh, Lisa says every episode of Flipping Out is available on demand on Spectrum. Okay. Anyways, well, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. If you're over on TikTok, thank you for tapping the screen. There's over 7,000. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you were liking the Instagram live, I really appreciate it. See you same time tomorrow, same place, 4 p.m. Eastern. Bye, Chumpettes. Bye, Instagram.